Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode in the Bug Bounty course. We're still talking about Bug Bounty basics, but today we're going to be talking about what resources you should be watching, reading, listening to, engaging with, how to engage with it to actually learn Bug Bounty hunting. This sounds familiar, like you may have watched this video already. I made a video like this in, I think, 2019. All about this. It was a little Christmas present for you guys. This is a redo of that video because a lot of the sources I mentioned are not necessarily current. A lot has come out since then. I made the video 3 years ago. It's not going to remain the same. Fundamentally, bugs don't really change, but especially what people are finding tends to come in waves. So it's really important to keep up to date. Now, this entire series couldn't be possible without our series sponsor, BugCrowd. If you're wondering, why is this course free? Why can you do these videos? It is because BugCrowd is sponsoring them. BugCrowd is the best place to start hacking, with a wide range of public and private programs from APIs to desktop applications and everything in between. Not yet ready to jump into a public program? Fill out your platform CV and sign up for a waitlisted program. Tell BugCrowd a bit about your skills, previous certifications or experience, and they'll match you up with the right program using their industry-leading crowd match technology. Whatever your level, there is a place for you in the crowd. So this was the video I made 3 years ago, generic advice.mp4, how to get started with bug bounty resource list advice. And you can see here, it was made 3 years ago. It's got like a little Christmas theme to it. It's nice, it's good. A lot has changed since I made it. A lot of bugs that used to be really popular have become less popular. People have stopped creating content, or the content they create is slightly different now. But one thing that hasn't changed is my disclaimer. I cannot tell you what resources will work for you. I am not keeping a secret resource that has the Fontable bug bounty knowledge that I'm just refusing to tell you about. I promise you, it's not a big secret. Everyone has a different background. Everyone has a different way they prefer to learn. For example, I may make YouTube videos because I think it's a great way to learn. I don't actually watch YouTube videos of people hacking, because I much prefer to actually be hands-on and actually hack something, participate in a CTF, get that knowledge hands-on rather than watch a video. But these are some resources that I really like and some suggestions on what to do if you're not seeing yourself progress. It's really easy when you're doing bug bounty hunting to essentially stagnate, right? It's really easy to not find a bug, to get demotivated, to give up, to go through that cycle multiple times. That can be really, really disheartening. So hopefully these sources will give you an idea of what I really like and some ideas about what to do if you're finding yourself stagnate or you're struggling to really see that progress in your learning. So the ultimate bug bounty learning pipeline. This is, of course, how everyone learns, and it's actually the best way to learn. What you do is you learn about security. Once you know everything about security, you'll do CTFs until you become amazing at CTFs and can find the bug in 5 minutes. Then you can finally start bug hunting. And if you see my other video, you'll know this pipeline is very wrong. This is not how learning works, and you shouldn't expect this to be how you learn. There is no course, there's no book, there's no video, there's no spell that can teach you how to hunt bugs from start to finish. There is no critical knowledge mass that you need to know in order to find vulnerabilities. It doesn't work that way. You need to figure out what you need to learn, recognize what skills you have and what skills you need to gain, and then look for resources in there. And this is a continuous process. I do not assume I know everything about every single type of bug. I've been saying for months I know nothing about cloud security and I've done nothing about it. But it's something you do, you just learn. And depending on your background, it's going to be very different. So I'll use an example of myself. I cannot listen to YouTube videos, but I used to be a developer. I used to make, software. I worked professionally in software engineering as a essentially jack of all trades programmer. Very much. I think I did a bit of CSS, JavaScript. I was using Photoshop because I was doing graphical elements. The first work project I had was like Deal or No Deal, but replace Noel Edmonds' face with the head of the company's face. And the last project I worked on was a massive upgrade of the CRM and a data lake. So I really did a bit of everything in that job. But because I'd done data, I was really familiar with APIs. I have made so many APIs, tons. So for me, picking up API security was really easy. I didn't feel like I needed to read a book because I had quite a lot of the knowledge already. I just needed to understand, okay, so how does security fit in? So again, this is a continuous process. It's about you learning a little bit, then going back and trying something else and learning a little bit. Variety is what makes learning easy. You need to vary what you do. Even if there was a single course that claims, like this one, to go from start to finish, you also need to put in some work. You can't just listen to me, absorb the knowledge, and go find bugs immediately. You need to read a bunch of write-ups. You need to watch some videos. You need to participate in a CTF. It's just bug bounty platforms. You join them all, have a go at everything, immerse yourself in the community. Instead of expecting a single resource to be the one thing that you listen to, it's more learning a language. You need to expose yourself to hacking at least one way every day. And that can be all kinds of things. That could be reading Twitter, watching a video, doing a CTF, actually hacking something, playing around in bat. It doesn't have to be a dead, okay, this is what I have to do today. And CTFs often have a bit of a road bump. If you spend a lot of time on a CTF, or if you spend a lot of time on a real target, you are going to find that one, you have the CTF road bump where you're not able to jump from CTFs onto a real website because you're so used to CTFs being very vulnerable. And the alternative of this, which is if you always hack on real targets, they are never going to be as vulnerable as a CTF is, so you're not going to find very much. The transition between the two is never going to be easy. It's never going to be something where you just use the default XSS payload of script alert one and you magically find bugs. It is not work that way. Now, I talk more about this in this video, but my key takeaway, if you haven't watched it and you don't want to watch it, you're never, ever going to feel ready. You won't. You will never feel like you know enough to start hacking. You just need to do it. You need to just tell yourself that, I'm going to use Burp, I'm going to do it on Google. Just have a feel for what requests look like. I'm going to maybe hack one of the bug bounty platforms because I know that really well. I'm going to have a go at setting up whatever mobile hacking lab so I can play around with it. You're never going to feel ready. You've just got to have a go and try. Learning isn't this linear process. So this is my process of learning GraphQL. I find a GraphQL endpoint on an API that I'm using. I'm like, okay, what is GraphQL? How does that work? Maybe I'll read an article. Maybe I'll check out CTF level. Maybe after I've read about it, I'll go, oh, maybe that's an IDOR location. I'll go back to the website and actually try it. I'll go, actually, that didn't work. I can't really form GraphQL queries very easily. Let's do a CTF to get some practice. You are always jumping from all of these different processes, going up and down and back to things and forward through things. And videos like mine are great for giving you a basic overview. But if you just watch videos, you're never going to get this variety and this jumping around that really helps you learn very quickly. It's okay to not know what you're doing. Learning how to hack is hard. CTFs are hard. Hacking is hard. Burp is hard to use. If you're struggling, that is completely normal. That is the most normal experience you can have. Nobody's path in the bug bounty community was, I learned it at university and now this is my job, right? Everyone takes a unique path and everybody feels like they don't really know what they're doing. But what you've got to do is push yourself. Don't just end up consuming the easy stuff at your current experience level. So if you know API hacking, you should not be watching my videos. Go and actually hack an API. I promise you'll learn a lot more. Read things, engage with things you don't understand yet, but try anyway. Follow people on Twitter who post in-depth security research and just try and understand it. Read write-ups of bugs you don't understand. Maybe you look at request smuggling. have this learning, this growth mindset to see you not understanding as a place you can push and challenge yourself, because it will do so much for you learning something very quickly. So don't just stop at beginner resources, keep going, keep on pushing yourself, try and understand it. What can really help with that is writing up a write-up or like a tutorial. I've learned so much from my videos because I'll be like, I wonder what this is, or I wonder what, I don't know, what a JavaScript payload can look like. How do you inject JavaScript? Oh, look, there's a book that lists all these different ways of injecting JavaScript. Okay, now I know that. And before I wouldn't have known that. So making videos, writing blog can be huge for helping. So resources, what do I actually recommend? Anything that I've italicized is Googleable or a product. Links to some of these will be in the description. I recommend opening up a notepad, getting a sheet of paper, or taking notes on what you're interested in. Now, the reason why I say some links will be in the description and you should take notes is because YouTube actually blocks videos if it notices a hacking related link. It's in no particular order and it's not an exhaustive list. If you have more suggestions, just comment them. Let's help each other out. Let's, help spread good content where we can. And again, no particular order. The things I mentioned are just the order I've written the slides in. So structured learning paths. So structured learning paths are this mix of reading and practical activities. So it gives you a do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. And there's usually some practical stuff. There's usually a lab. There's usually a tutorial. There's usually a walkthrough afterwards. It has this very structured way of working. And the 4 ones that I recommend are Try Hack Me, which is the cheapest of the paid ones. Pentester Lab, which is specifically tailored towards the bug bounty community. Hack the Box, who have the bug bounty hunter certification that they offer. And Portswigger Web Security Academy, which is completely free. I think Try Hack Me has now gone up to $8, maybe it might be $10. Pentester Lab has a student price, and Hack the Box, I'm not sure. People will often give these away on Twitter though. Just this week, I think I saw Hack the Box partnering with a YouTuber to give out some codes. So follow a bunch of people on Twitter and then see when they do giveaways. Portsmouth Web Security Academy is completely free. Plus, the other advantage is that as you complete those labs, you're actually working towards a burp certification because you need to do those labs to do the burp certification. So it can also be another benefit. Now, what I will say is that the CTFs of all of these is not necessarily going to be realistic. The only realistic experience for bug bounty hunters is Bug Bounty Hunter. I'll put a link to it in the description, which is Ishulno's platform that he runs. So I generally don't recommend courses. They can actually be really costly very quickly and taught by people who aren't actually regularly doing bug bounty hunting and know that people are trying to do bug bounty hunting to maybe help support their family. They know that's the case and therefore they are quite predatory. A lot of them also have plagiarism from my videos or Hamsex videos because, again, some people don't know better. They'll look up bug bounty course on Udemy and pick the one that has the highest ratings. That doesn't necessarily mean you should listen to them. The 2 I do recommend, so Nahamsek, he used to work at a bug bounty platform. He hacks regularly. He regularly goes to live hacking events. He also regularly hacks on stream and he makes videos with other hackers. These are the things you want to see if you're buying a course. Somebody known in the community who has experience in the community and who is not just taking advantage of the fact that you don't know how many bugs they've. So Nahamsek is great and he has quite a lot of recon. So he has his course. Then the Cyber Mentor. He hosts a few courses on his website, which the one I'm thinking of is Practical Ethical Hacking, which includes web, but it also does Windows and Linux. Both of these, you can watch their YouTube videos for free to see if you like their teaching style. So you can try it out and see whether or not this gels with you. And if it does, then buy the course. You're not signing up for the course immediately. Speaking of people on YouTube, if you learn with videos or streamers or shorts or whatever, some kind of video content, these can be really great for sticking on in the background where you don't necessarily have to pay attention. You can just have somebody talking at you. And there are people who make videos for all kinds of people. My videos are slideshows. Naham's sex videos are his face. There is not one type of video that you should watch. So securitycreators.video has this full list of creators that also are streamers or shorts. Bug bounty specific, Nahamsec, Bug Bounty Reports Explained, Farah, Hack Luke, all are making videos about bug bounty hunting, not web security. Though I will say that I recommend watching any of these. You don't have to bug bounty specific YouTube videos to get bug bounty knowledge. It doesn't work that way. It can be all kinds of different stuff. So I really recommend that to find someone you like. And there's also a bunch of non-English creators on there as well now. So maybe if your first language is Hindi or Portuguese or whatever, you can find stuff in your native language, which can really help if you're struggling to follow really technical information. There are also lecture videos. So the most famous one you probably heard of is CS50. That's run by Harvard University. It is a completely free online course that teaches you everything about computer science. And there are other ones. So Harvard runs one. So does MIT OpenCourseWare. If you learn a lot in a structured educational environment, these might be a good choice for you. These are maybe like TryHackMe because it has the same vibe as like a really structured path. But it's up to you. Tools. The main tool we all use is Burp Suite. OWASP is a free and open source alternative. It's good. It has some of the tools that Burp doesn't have, or that Burp limits in their free version. And there's also Kaido, which is in beta, but I've seen a lot of people really excited for it because it's done in your web browser instead. Now, offsec.tools, which is this website on the side here, is a full list of a lot of tools for offensive security, including Bug Bounty Hunter. I really recommend it. Whenever I'm writing about a tool, I always go there and click on random tool to find something I've never seen before. So recommendations that I have for you to learn: Kite Runner, great API testing tool, can find API endpoints really easily. Shodan, which has a search for CVEs. Amass, which is a really great recon tool. FFUF, which is a fuzzing tool that is very, very quick, and you can automatically have the successful request piped to Burp. So it really works as part of that infrastructure side of things. SQL Map, you can also get it as a extension for Burp, but it's really easy to test for SQL injections. Frida, which is a tool used for mobile security that allows you to hook into applications that are running. Trufflehog, which can find API keys in open source GitHub or GitLab projects, where you can set it to automatically have a look and see if you can find anything. XSS Hunter Express, which is a self-hosted version of XSS Hunter, which is for finding blind XSS bugs. Nuclei, which is probably the most popular scanner at this point. Burp Suite Scan might be a bit more popular than Nuclei, but it's very quickly becoming the tool because it's free. They also have a bunch of patterns, and you can make your own patterns, so it's a scanning tool. If you do bug bounty hunting with it, expect duplicates, because you're not going to find new bugs because everybody else is running it. But if you can be quick and you can edge forward a little bit or get new assets, it can be very helpful. And Interact SH, which basically allows you to run Burp Collaborator and test for out of bounds type bugs. But that's not all the tools, as you can see. In the word scanner alone, there are 136 different tools. So there's lots of options there. Conferences. If you live in the world, you probably have a local B-Sides event next to you. Some of the big ones, major cities, like Vegas, but they actually happen worldwide, including in India, for example, because there's a lot of the security community in India, and they're all run as community events. Now, a lot of conferences will put their slides and talks on YouTube or record them in some way. So even if you can't get there, you can still get the same information. The big one for this is probably DEF CON, where it has talks from the car hacking village, and then you can listen to how somebody hacked the car. Black Hat is some local communities. They've got a Black Hat Europe and a Black Hat USA. Black Hat USA happens in Vegas before DEF CON, and it's the corporate version. But you'll often see new security research will be published Black Hat and DEF CON, or sometimes just Black Hat. NullCon is a big Indian conference. I know a lot of you are in India, so I made sure to look and make sure you were represented. And then OWASP is local community groups. I think it's the Open Worldwide Application Security Project now. They basically run local community groups and run some larger conferences for things Upset Global, which I think was in Ireland. But conferences can be really great to see brand new vulnerabilities, like vulnerabilities that have just been released that people haven't necessarily fixed yet. And also just for pushing you to understand something a bit more difficult. You can read one of these talks, if you can paraphrase it and take notes on it, you will learn so quickly. Podcasts. There's actually not too many bug bounty specific podcasts. There's a lot of security focused ones. You probably already know Darknet Diary, which Darknet Diaries is these interesting stories from the security community. Great kind of general interest. If you've got somebody who is interested in what you do, but doesn't want to listen to something technical, that can be a really good gateway into cybersecurity. The main bug bounty podcast, Critical Thinking by Justin and TechnoGeek. They do a really great about bug bounty, for bug bounty. They're both bug bounty hunters. It's very focused in the community. If you watch nothing else, make it their podcast, because I promise you will learn a ton from that. They also often have guests, and that'll be like people in the security community. Microsoft has just launched their Blue Hat podcast. So Blue Hat is a Microsoft conference for the security research community. And they've got a few podcasts on bug hunting, but with Microsoft. Books. People always ask me about books. I don't really like books. If they're in red, I recommend them because I've read them. If they're in purple, I recommend them because other people have told me they're useful. I do not read a lot of hacking books. I read a lot of books. Like, I love books. I love reading. But I do not think books are the best way to learn bug bounty hunting, because it will go out of date by the second that it's published. Saying that, a lot of people say these books have really helped them, and I don't want to talk over people who think that, especially because I make YouTube videos. They're not the most accessible things in the world. Books can be a great way that people who don't have English as a first language or have attention problems can actually engage in this. So again, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying I think I don't find them very useful. So Tangled Web, A Guide to Securing Modern Web Applications, is a very in-depth book that goes over, basics probably isn't quite the right word, but it goes over a lot of the, history of the web and how we got here, and a lot of the underlying technology. If you are looking for a book to help you get started with networking and understanding the internet, the Tangled Web would be a good choice. The OWASP Web Security Testing Guide is a big PDF that shows you how to test stuff. It gives this very structured way of doing things. Haven't used it before. My way of hacking is chaotic. Hacking APIs, breaking web application programming interfaces. I tried to start this, but it was, compared to what I usually read, I struggled a little bit to get through it because it was stuff I already knew. If you don't know anything about APIs, good choice. If you know stuff about APIs, don't bother, because I don't think you get much out of it. The Web Application Hacker's Handbook, Finding and Exploiting Security Flaws, is a very interesting book. It is older now, but I think it's a useful, if you want to see yourself going into like security research and finding 0 days, that can be, I think, a really good choice. Bug Bounty Bootcamp, the guide to finding and reporting web vulnerabilities. Again, I've not read it. A lot of people think it's good. I understand that a lot of people are like, if you know about bug bounties, then you don't get very much out of it. It's a book about bug bounties. This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends is a book written by a journalist about the hacking community. And I think it's a really interesting book. I really enjoyed it and I couldn't put it down. I think the way the community is represented is very positive, and I think the author isn't judgmental. But a lot of people have said that they didn't like it because it wasn't accurate or it was exaggerated. And finally, Web Hacking 101, which is basically an exploration of a lot of bug bounty reports. If you watch Bug Bounty Reports Explained on YouTube, a very similar style of looking at disclosed reports. You can also get it for free. If you Google Web Hacking 101 free, you can actually get it for free. So write-ups and disclosures are the most useful resource. If you pick one resource from this video, make it this. You can see what people are actually being paid for and what vulnerabilities are actually the most common at the moment. Because if you think about a book is published based on, what's popular at the moment. In 6 months' time, that technology might be dead and people are doing something else. So write-ups can be so helpful for actually finding what people are reporting. And when you look at these, you'll start to see trends of which technologies are popular, etc. You can find them on Twitter. Google disclosed reports, on Medium with the tag bug bounty. Alternatively, you could subscribe to an aggregating newsletter. We'll do that for you, and here are some. So I am subscribed to all of these newsletters because I think they are good. TLDRSec summarizes what the security community has been talking about. The Hive 5 is great kind of insights into what the bug bounty community are talking about. APIsecurity.io has great write-ups of API flaws specifically. This Week in Security is like TLDRSec, but it's much broader, I find. Bug is the one that I write, and it's a big list of resources. Executive Offense is written by Jason Haddix, who's a famous bug bounty hunter, and it's probably more on the offensive security side. But it's really great because it's written by somebody who is both in the industry and knows the bug bounty community. And Unsupervised Learning, which talks a lot about AI. And I know a lot of you find that interesting, but it talks a lot about the security space as well. These are great newsletters. I read them every single time they come into my inbox, apart from Bug Bites, because I write that. And I don't want to reread what I've already read. Vulnerability lists. So things, the OWASP top 10, the OWASP API top 10, the BugCrowd VRT can be great ways of getting the official name of certain vulnerabilities. And that can make it a lot easier to direct your learning. So that gives you the topics. You learn, I want to learn a vulnerability type. Oh, here we go, SQL injection. I'll learn that. Now, there has been a lot of complaints about the OWASP top 10, the current one. So you can always go back to the prior top 10 if you do find that it's not very helpful. Sometimes the bug bounty platforms will also produce little reports for their customers. They can also be really helpful for getting lists of vulnerabilities that people are actually finding. Actually hacking something. If you want to be a hacker, you're eventually going to have to hack stuff. So just have a go. Actually hacking something is a trial by fire for learning. It's scary and intimidating, but you're going to make that jump and you may as well take it now. It's not going to become any easier over time. So I think that actually hacking something is probably where I've learned the most, but also it takes resilience to get used to not finding stuff when you really want to find stuff. Community engagement. Speaking to other bug bounty people can help you become more immersed. You can discuss cool resources you found, bounce ideas off of each other, enthuse about new techniques or bugs. You can share, what you found. You can find collaborations. There are so many good reasons to get involved. My recommendations, Twitter. Everyone is on Twitter at the moment. And how long that will be the case for, I don't know. Bug bounty tips are the two main hashtags. The Hive 5 also has a Twitter list that you can look up. That's the newsletter. And that can be helpful for following high signal, low noise accounts. There are a lot of Discord groups like Bounty Hunters. Almost every bug bounty platform has a channel. I'll leave the links to bug crowds in the video description. And also Telegram groups as well. I know are really popular, especially for people outside the West. Finally, teaching others. Teaching others will help you solidify your knowledge of concepts. That could be helping someone solve a CTF, making YouTube videos, writing tutorials, mentoring somebody, creating a study group, having a Discord channel, having a community on Twitter. Make friends. It is so, I really cannot put to words how much I've learned through making a YouTube video on a subject. Because I think I know something well, and I try and explain it to somebody, and I'm like, oh, I actually don't know that as well as I thought. And I will find elements that I didn't know previously. A good example was making a video about cross-site scripting and learning a ton about JavaScript and the history of JavaScript. Again, nobody knows everything, and actually teaching others can be a great way to develop your expertise a lot further. That's a lot of resources. Where should I start? Well, let's talk about note-taking and how to take notes if you are learning. Start with the fundamentals. You need to know how networks work. You need to know the basics of what a URL is, what HTML is, what CSS is, what JavaScript is, what function they have, what's a request, what's a response, what are headers and cookies, what happens between you typing in a URL and then the page loading up in front of you. That's everything from DNS queries to your browser rendering it. It's really important to at least have some of these fundamentals. If you do a degree in computer science, you probably already have these. And if you're completely new to the field and you don't understand this, please, first step is write notes on the basics of what happens when you type in a URL and the page is loading. What technology is being used to make that appear. Read disclosed reports. Google anything you don't know. If you don't know what a fuzzer is, if you don't know what, say, binary exploitation is, Google everything you don't know and try and distill it into a description of what the bug is, why it's bad, how you know it's there, how to test for it. The more you see that bug, you can go in and edit that, generalize the methodology. Maybe this only works on certain targets that meet certain requirements. Maybe that's not something that can be more widely applied. The more you consume, the more you should edit these down. So refine each vulnerability as you engage in content. As you watch a YouTube video, add to your notes. Maybe the YouTube video can only help tell you a bit about the impact of the bug. Okay, great. Well, you can fill out that section. Instead of trying to get notes about this particular article, try and create kind of evergreen, concept-oriented notes. Vulnerabilities, technologies. These notes don't have to be super, super detailed. These notes could be a few sentences to a few pages. Try a CTF, edit your methodology on how you found the flag. You end up creating your own little volume of knowledge that you can access at any time. Join the community. As you join communities around bug bounties, so on Discord, Twitter, Reddit, Telegram, wherever you're going to it, talk about what you've created, see what people are talking about, and again, prune that tree of knowledge, really get it down to what's the bug? What's the impact of that bug? How do I know it's there? How can I find it? And potentially how are you going to report it? Do people agree with what you give as those answers? Disagree? Have something to add? Make friends, learn from them. You will learn so much by just making friends with people. And most people want to enthuse about bug bounty hunting with you. Most people really like it as well. Make friends, learn from them. This is a very basic overview. I've gone into more details on the blog posts and put forward a clearer methodology around what notes to take exactly. So if you do want really clear guidance on what should I take notes on, how should I take those notes, I have more information in the full blog post that covers not just this video, but all the videos in the series. Links are in the description. But thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I hope this was a really useful video. I hope that this one stays relevant for 3 years as well, though we'll see. And yeah, just get out there. You know, one of the best decisions I made in learning bug bounty hunting was literally talking to people and building relationships and building community and making YouTube videos and teaching you all. I love it. So thank you very much, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.